Hi everybody, I'm Elsa and I'm back with another graphic novel review. This month I read Katie the Catsitter by Colleen A.F. Venable and illustrated by Stephanie Yue. For all you cat lovers out there, you will enjoy this very much. I'm a cat person. I like this very much. Even if you're not a cat person, it's a fun read. So stick around for my review. So in this world, we have two things to keep in mind. There are superheroes and supervillains. The main superhero that we don't really follow, but that we know of is called the Screech. He's kind of like an owl-themed superhero. And then we have the Mouseress, which is a mouse-themed superhero villain. So they're superheroes, supervillains, and in the public's eye, there's not really like any gray space. Like superheroes are superheroes and they're doing their job and they're great, and supervillains are terrible and very, very bad and always bad. But really who the story follows is Katie, and Katie is a student, but it's summer break. So all of her friends are going to this summer camp that she can't quite afford to go to. But her plan is to do jobs around her apartment building so that she can be able to afford to go to one of the later sessions of the summer camp. And her best friend is writing to Katie, and Katie's writing to her best friend, updating her on how their summers are going. So Katie starts off by asking people if she can help them carry their groceries up into their apartment. And she's not exactly very physically strong, so she kind of fails at that, helping her neighbors carry their groceries. Then she offers to water plants, and she can't quite follow the instructions because this neighbor in particular has tons and tons of plants. So she ends up killing several of the plants, and people are paying her for her task, but she kind of feels guilty and gives the money back. So there are no pets allowed in Katie's building, but she comes across Madeline, who is like a very mysterious neighbor, and like the bodega cat that's in the building takes a liking to Katie, and Madeline's like, I think I may have a job for you. So she's like, meet me at this time in my apartment and we can go over a little job that I might have for you. So Katie shows up to Madeline's apartment and she sees two cats, and she's like, oh, okay, you have cats. I won't tell our landlord. And I guess I'm cat sitting. And Madeline says, yes, you are cat sitting. However, I have more than two cats. She opens the door, and then we see that Madeline actually has many, 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 many cats. 217 to be exact. Obviously, this is too many cats to take care of, but they seem well behaved. So Katie still agrees to take care of them. And it's not the whole entire day. It's just a couple hours at night. So she's like, okay. Madeline takes off to work, and things kind of reveal themselves. And all of these cats are super intelligent and kind of chaotic. So we have one little guy ordering pizza, another one like playing with weapons, just destroying the house. And Katie's super overwhelmed, and they're all over the place. They're climbing the walls. She can't keep track of all 217 of them. But then as the clock strikes 12, or 11:59, because that is when Madeline gets home, she gets home exactly at 12. Every single day. All of a sudden the cats start cleaning up. The couch that they destroyed, they traded in for the landlord's brand new couch. They start re-sewing clothes that they've wrecked. They start washing the dishes. they kind of clean up after themselves, and Katie's just kind of shocked to see this. So Katie agrees to continue cat sitting for Madeline because it's good money and it's kind of manageable, and she starts tricking the cats by changing the clock, and she kind of understands their personalities better, so she kind of gets along with them. So at the same time, as Katie is babysitting, these weird crimes are happening, and they're not exactly crimes. They're more like rescues, and they all involve animals. So we have like a celebrity that kept animals, like rare animals, just like locked up. And there's like 2 of these incidents that seem like crimes because there's not really things taken, but there's break-ins, right? And Katie becomes a little suspicious about Madeline. She's like, could Madeline have something to do with this? Because it happens in the time period while Katie is cat sitting. So she's like, I think I'm onto Madeline. She might be the moustress, which is the supervillain that has been committing these break-ins where animals are kind of rescued. And then we have the Screech, who is the superhero, but he's kind of like this vigilante type superhero. He's got like a little bit of an ego to him, and he intercepts one of the letters between Katie and her best friend that happens to mention that she thinks that Madeline might have something to do with the whole moustress situation. So he intercepts the letter, and then writes a letter back to Katie as her best friend. And it's like really out of character, like the language that's used in the letter seems kind of cold. So Katie gets really upset that, like, it seems like her friend is at summer camp, is like having the time of her life, and maybe has forgotten about Katie, while Katie is still trying to earn money from Madeline to be able to go to the summer camp. And the summer camp prices, as it gets later in the later sessions, they're more expensive. So she's really struggling. And she's a little bit heartbroken, even though she's having like a great time with these cats, she's making money. She is not able to go to camp quite yet, and she's a little distraught. Katie and the cats, still babysitting them, and they have a pretty good routine. They know that 11:59, they have to start cleaning up their mess, and Madeline will come home right at 12 o'clock. Now, there is something on the news about the moustress being captured this particular night. And Katie's watching the TV, and she's like, oh, that's very interesting. The moustress was captured. But then 11:59 hits, cats clean up, cats sit down waiting for their mom Madeline to come home, and as the clock strikes 12, no one opens the door. They wait a little longer. Madeline's not coming home. So Katie's like, this must be a coincidence. Madeline just happens to be late. But the cats go into full superhero, supervillain mode, and they show Katie kind of like the lair situation that they have going. And they basically kind of all reveal their the superpowers. Like, some of their superpowers are, you know, lasers and sewing and random things. In the back of the book, we actually get to see all of the cats and all of their special talents, some of which are useful to a supervillain, some are just a little bit silly. But they reveal the lair to Katie, and now Katie has to dress up as the moustress and go and try and rescue Madeline from the Screech. She's in jail, but she is being watched by the Screech. So we have Katie in Madeline's like little super villain spaceship while the cats are piloting, because of course one of them knows how to pilot. So we have Katie and the cats break into jail and get across the guards with all of their superpowers, which, you know, just distractions, and they have lasers to detect anybody coming through trying to help the mouse just escape. And of course, the cats are super great at what they do because they've had this training for Madeline. And they're able to get to the moustress in her cell. But then we see the Screech is there, and he is very, very sure that the moustress is a supervillain, and there's no way around it. She is bad. But one of the guards takes the side of Katie and the moustress because he realizes that all of the crimes and break-ins that were committed were actually rescues of animals and not just break-ins to steal jewelry or steal, you know, things that have value, but it was to help out animals. And he and his guard dog help Madeline / the moustress and Katie. So they make their great escape. They get away from the egotistical superhero Screech, and they are now working together. So Katie was never able to go to summer camp, which is unfortunate, but she had such an interesting adventure at the end of the summer. So overall, I would recommend Katie the Catsitter to readers of all ages. It's a very sweet story, an adventure, a very quick read. There is going to be a sequel, and I do believe that Katie and the moustress are going to completely join forces. I would give this 4 out of 5 kittens. So to finish up, I just want to show you this page. There's 2 of these pages that show all of the cats and all their special talents. We have Maria, whose special talent is karaoke. We have Melrose, who's an aircraft engineer. Miles, who's the laser expert. We have Phil, who's a rock climber, and my favorite would be Marmalade, whose special talent is a beekeeper. So that is Katie the Catsitter, and I will see you next time.